with Grant, Ryan, Ben, and Mike.
Rick, has Josiah been able to do anything since you got back from Christmas? And do you have any change in his status moving forward?
No change, and he's doing a little bit more, with Chad and Garrett, but with us, he'll warm up with us a little bit, but he hasn't got into the 5-on-5 stuff yet.
Just here with conference play starting, where do you like where your team's at, and where do you the most important areas to improve?
Well, I like the fact that I think that we've played hard and been pretty much locked in. But as you guys know, at the start of conference season, you're starting over, and you're now going into territory where everybody knows everything they need to know about you. And so when conference play starts up, and I still look at us where we've got to improve with our transition defense. We still have got to be better with ball screen coverage. And offensively, we're going to have to take care of the ball, certainly against Ole Miss and or anybody that you play. But it's still about us trying to get better along the way here while we are getting ready to get into conference play where everything gets ratcheted up.
Rick, just with the guys coming back on Christmas and then somewhat turning around and hitting the road, any concern about having to knock some rust off, or are you excited that the first SEC game is on the road?
Well, that's a good question. The fact is, you're always concerned coming back after Christmas. You always are, even though I think our guys were gone, 2.5, 3 days. We weren't very sharp yesterday in practice, the way we should be, especially with the group that we have right now. Whether we start on the road or at home, to me, it really doesn't matter. We're going to play half of them here, half of them away. It's a quick turnaround, obviously. That's why we had to come back Christmas night, just to make sure we could get everybody back here so we could get a good day in yesterday. But regardless of, we're going to have to be better than we were certainly yesterday in practice. And because you guys know as well as anybody, there's such a fine line between winning and losing, and got to get our mindset right, because got a lot of respect for Ole Miss and Kermit and his teams are going to play hard. They're rebounding great. They are going to try to make you get out of your comfort zone, and so we're going to have to be ready.
Rick, what does Julian have to do to just develop consistency as conference play kind of gets rolling here and things ratchet up for him?
I would say the biggest thing I think he's got to really understand, he needs to get lost in the game in terms of not thinking about scoring. It's typical of most young players that they've done that their entire life, and we need him to score. But nights when he's not shooting the ball well, not scoring maybe the way in his mind he thinks he should, he's got to impact the game in other ways defensively. And he's done a really good, nice job rebounding the ball, but defensively, I believe, and I would tell any other offensive players, that guys that look at themselves that way, if you get lost in the game, and especially put your focus on the defensive end, I think their instincts will naturally take over for them on the offensive end. And we need him, obviously, to score for us, but we need him to impact the game in any and every way that he can, because he can truly impact games in multiple ways if he really locks into it.
Rob, Andrew, and Ryan.
Coach, what do Toby and Jonas need to do to see their minutes kind of continue to go up here in conference play?
Well, I think what Toby has done is just simply work the way he has, and he's probably the most improved guy on our team from the day he walked in until where he is here right now. And Jonas, it's a matter of continuing, like his last week has been really good. It's effort, playing hard, understanding that we need him to, again, play defense. We need him to be really good in ball screen coverage. We need him to be able to contain the ball, rebound the ball. And I just think that, again, what I said about Julian, if all guys, especially our post players, we need them to defense, rebound. And then if they do that, I think with what we do on offense, they're going to get their opportunities on the offensive end if they take care of all the other things they need to take care of in terms of getting where they're supposed to be, when they're supposed to be there, and being balanced, ready to do something with it when we give them the ball.
Coach,
For your younger guys, just what do you think are the biggest challenges as they get into their first couple of conference games?
You broke up the first part of that. What'd you say?
Sorry, for your younger guys, just what do you feel like are the biggest challenges as they get into conference play?
Well, I think now it's going to be the grind of what we're getting ready to get into with the younger guys. I mean, it's been a grind Julian's played quite a few minutes and there's no doubt that he's played, and he would tell you this too, it's been probably the hardest adjustment he's had to make in basketball in terms of the physicality, the speed of the game, the quickness of the game, and night in and night out, everybody you played, a good player. And but I think once you're talking now, it's the grind of conference play, and you're getting started right now. And in some ways, younger guys probably feel like they've already played an entire season in terms of the physicality and the mental work that goes into preparation for games. But it'll be, these first couple of weeks will be interesting to see how they respond.
What makes Kermit's teams at Ole Miss so effective defensively?
Well, one, he's a terrific coach, and he mixes his defense. He likes he'll play man to man. They can get after you. They're a very athletic team, and he likes he'll throw his 1-3-1 out there where if you get it down, it'll morph into a 2-3, and he likes that, and he'll stay in as long as he thinks if you don't handle it, he'll stay with it, and he combines that with, he's got great offensive concepts. He really does a good job getting the guys he wants shots where they need to have them. And these guys, they rebound. They really rebound the basketball. Offensively, they go probably harder than anybody we've played up to this point consistently, and do a great job with getting their, misses, and they're really terrific in transitions. And, obviously Matt Burrell's terrific. I mean, he gets going. I mean, he's a handful.
Go next to David and then back to Mike.
Hey, Rick, when you look at your shooting percentages, I know they're not what you've wanted, but has there been a rhyme or reason for those? And do you think this last game gave you kind of a bump?
Well, I don't know if you can talk. We keep a lot of numbers here, with guys, and we know where they're most effective. Then what's important is they understand that they understand. Like, for instance, Tyreek is shooting a much better percentage when he's closer to the 3-point line as opposed to being further out. So he's going to have to work hard at getting the ball in an area where his numbers prove that and again, it's not right up against the 3-point line, but it's not, 6-7 feet behind it. Whereas Zakai shoots better, deeper he is. And Santi obviously shoots the ball, when he's a little bit further back. So it's them understanding those little subtle details and doing their work early, getting their feet set, knowing the shots that we want them to shoot. So one, we're in a position to go rebound it. And then inside, obviously our 2-point, we've done a better job. We still got to get better. And that's what this game is about, is can you get better every day? I mean, you look at not only your team, what do we have to get better at? I mentioned transition defense, ball screen coverage, and, I can talk a lot about a lot of different things, but individually, same thing. Players have to understand this time of year is not just, okay, this is the player I am right now. Can I get better today? And by the time postseason rolls around, you want to think that you've put everything in it to become the best player you can become right now. Then the season's over with. Everybody's going to say, okay, this is what I got to do to get better. But I think it's important you're trying to get better right now.
Rick, Olivier has had some of those games like he had the other night, late in non-conference play before. What does it take for him to really replicate that success and kind of do what he was doing in SEC play last season before that injury?
You know what? Again, it goes back to understanding what we need him to do, and not fighting it. Just, hey, this is what we need from you. And he can maybe, in players, not just Olivier, but players in general, they see themselves sometimes in a way that maybe they shouldn't, or, we don't want to ever put anybody in a box. We want everybody, like I said, every day to get better. But the key to being effective is consistency. What are we going to get today? What are we going to get tomorrow? Can we count on it every single day? And it's about offensively, when he gets his balance, when he gets his space on the floor, he's effective. And we're comfortable. We're confident getting him the ball there, letting him know that, hey, this is what you've worked on. Now go at it. And so he's going to work. Olivier, there's not anybody in the country that's going to put more time in. And he'll keep getting better. And I think the more he plays, and I've said it before, I don't even think he's close to being the kind of player he can be. Once the mental side of the game catches up with him physically, he's going to really take off.
We'll finish up with Casey.
Coach, what do you think is the biggest thing that you guys have really improved on in the first half of the season as you've prepared for SEC play that's really going to carry you guys through this second half of the season?
Well, we have improved defensively, rebounding wise, and that's what, that's our program. We talk about it, defense and rebounding wins most of the nights. You do those two things, you got a chance every night. And we've been consistently getting better, not anywhere near what I think we can be, but that's a trend that we've got to stick with. We have got to continue to get better defensively. We got to keep rebounding the ball at an extremely high level, and we can get better there, both defensively and offensively. And but that's, I think, is what put us in a position so far where we've had some success.
All right, Coach, thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
We'll be joined by Olivier